I've remade this tier list like at least 6 times. I almost forgot the most important tier. I have a special tier. Hold on, watch this. What's good, y'all? I've been thinking about this shit for a minute. I wanted to make a Sonic tier list. I've seen some controversial opinions. I'm not gonna front. I've seen some controversial opinions, and where people are trying to say Frontiers is bad, Sonic 06 is peak, Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic Adventure 1 is better than Sonic Adventure 2, and I feel like I gotta take a step into the ring and give my opinion. In preparation, I did play through a lot of Sonic games recently. I didn't play through every single one, but I still have fond memories of damn near every single one. I'm definitely forgetting a couple, and if I am, y'all can let me know. I feel like I'm probably missing at least like 1 or 2. If I do miss any, I will maybe do a remake in the future. Consider this like the original release, and then if I make a remake in the future, it'll be the battle version. You know, because Sonic Adventure 2 had Sonic Adventure 2, and then Sonic Adventure 2 battle on the GameCube. I'm getting a little too. I ain't even start the list yet. Let me chill. All right, first up we got Sonic the Hedgehog. All right, to be fair to this game, I'm gonna judge it as its own game and not compare it to the sequels, because that seems unfair to me. On its own, it's kind of solid. I won't lie. Like, especially back then, to compare this game to its sequels would be a little unfair. So I'll compare. I'll talk about it on its own and compare it to like games that were out at the time. So, see, honestly, since this was made to compete with Mario, original Mario on the NES, I feel like it did a pretty solid job. I think it brought a lot of new stuff to the table. Well, it prioritized both speed and platforming, and it felt really solid to play, honestly. And seeing as how we've gotten like 10,000 remakes of this game, most people have played it. Like, if you haven't played the original Genesis trilogy, then I don't know, go play it then. Shit, why the fuck are you here? Watch it, listening to me ramble. Go play that shit, bro. Missing out on some bangers. I'll give it a comfy.
Can't win them all.
Primarily because it had a lot to build off upon. And with that being said, I think Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a
no problem.
Let me explain why though. This game, comparing it to the first one, not only did they bring in Tails, they brought in the spin dash, brought in some solid stages too. Plus you had flying battery zone, but I ain't gonna care, they had some fire music, fire gameplay, fire everything really. There's not much I can say about the Genesis trilogy because, you know what I'm saying, it was pretty simple. Sonic CD, I won't lie, my opinions on this game have been like going from its peak to it's not as good as Sonic 3. And I'm just like, but to look at it as its own game, it's kind of just like original Sonic the Hedgehog, like this one right here. It's kind of just this one on the Sega CD. In that regard, it's pretty solid, honestly. I think the time travel mechanic is cool. A lot of people complain about that shit, but I feel like with how the levels are designed, it's pretty easy to time travel. So anybody who has problems, that might just be a skill issue. But you know, I'll give Sonic CD because it brought in Metal Sonic 2 and it had some banger soundtracks too.
No problem.
I'll give it A. You can tell it's my first tier list because I didn't even adjust the size of these fonts. Now with Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Ooh, man, I'm not gonna lie. I had the Genesis collection on the Xbox 360. Out of these 3 games, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and Sonic & Knuckles, and Sonic 3D Blast, I played Sonic the Hedgehog 3 a lot more. I ain't gonna cap. Like, I don't know, this game just had it. So I ain't gonna cap. This might be the first
piece of cake.
I got a lot of fond memories of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, I ain't gonna lie. And the multiple playable characters too, where you can play as Knuckles and shit. And Knuckles was fun as hell to play as. With that being said, Sonic and Knuckles, it's alright. I like it. I just didn't play much of it as a kid. I played Sonic the Hedgehog 3 a lot more. But it's not bad. I also didn't include Sonic 3 and Knuckles because it's like, it'd be kind of complicated, but yeah, you know what? I'll give this a comfy. I'll give it like a low, like it's like, not a low A. Because I like Sonic CD more than Sonic and Knuckles. I'll give it a
no problem.
Sonic 3D Blast. Now I won't lie, I did play this as a kid. Shit pissed me the fuck off. I'm not gonna lie. This game, I don't need to say much about it. Obviously, it's pretty shit. I ain't gonna catch. Given the circumstances, that can't be too hard. And honestly, it's a simple game. I feel like if it controlled like a little bit better, I might put it in like maybe a high B. I gotta put it in C.
Can't win them all.
Okay, now we moving on to some heat. Now we got Sonic Adventure. No, come on, you already know. I don't even need to say anything. A tier. Now you might look at that shit and be confused. But let me explain. Now Sonic Adventure 1 is a solid game. I like it. You got multiple campaigns to choose from. You got Sonic's campaign, which is pretty solid. You know what I'm saying? You got Emerald. I was about to say Emerald Hill. You got Emerald Coast, Speed Highway, Red Mountain, and then you got Tails' campaign, which is okay. You know what I'm saying? It's racing. Then you got Knuckles' campaign, which is pretty fire. I won't lie, because you get to explore the stages, looking for emeralds and shit. That shit was kind of tough. I won't lie. And then you have E102 game. I always mix him up with E1230 Omega. Do y'all do that same thing? Let me know. But his campaign was cool too. Amy's campaign, it wasn't the worst. It wasn't the worst. Then you got Big's campaign. That's why it gets a fucking A rank. Now I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna let y'all in on a secret. Every time I replay Sonic Adventure, I play all the other campaigns, but then I give the controller to someone else as soon as it comes time to play as Big. I'm not gonna say who, but she knows who she is. But you know, I'll give Sonic Adventure a comfy A tier, a high A tier though. Like it's above every other game in the tier, but
No problem.
now here's where we get some real heat. Now I'm not gonna lie, Adventure 2, I don't even gotta say it. It's going in S tier. And I'm not gonna cap. I gotta speak my thoughts about this. To the mofos out there trying to say that Sonic Adventure 1 is better than Sonic Adventure 2, I can't agree with y'all. Yeah, Adventure 1 had a better treasure hunting mechanic when you got to see all 3 emeralds at once, which, you know what I'm saying, that was helpful. But if you really learn like the treasure hunting stages in Adventure 2, you could low-key get kind of good at it. I'm still not the best at it. The highest I can get is maybe like a B. Now when it comes to the speed stages, that's my cup of tea right there. I won't lie, I wish I had it on camera. I was able to do so there's this skip in Metal Harbor, right? Most of y'all probably know it. But you spin dash up the ramp and then hit jump, like you spin dash jump and then it launches you to the top ramp and then you catch the light speed trail and get and speed right into the A rank. I did that shit for the first time. I felt like a fucking god, bro. Like I won't lie. That's like this, but getting A ranks in Sonic Adventure 2 feels good. Whereas getting good ranks in Adventure 1, it feels good, but not as good. If that makes sense. So with that being said, Adventure 2 is sitting in S tier. Our first S tier of the Dreamcast era. Then you got Sonic Advance. I will not lie, I did not play Sonic Advance. I didn't play the Advance trilogy. My parents really failed me now I'm thinking about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? They bought me Mario games, but I wanted Sonic as a kid. I was tuned in with Sonic X though, so you know what I'm saying? I'm not too new gen. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with Heat. Anyway, I'm gonna need some help with the Advanced rankings. What do you think?
So Advance 1 has a small roster of characters.
Because it has Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. In a 2D game, right?
A 2D platform.
Wait, no, because Sonic the Hedgehog 3 had that too with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles.
Yeah, but had they had 4 playable characters in a 2D setting?
They did not, unless you want to count Super Sonic.
They had 4.
How many do they have? If I had a camera, y'all would see me holding up the 4 sign.
A lot of people say it's like baby's first Yuji Kawa. What was the artist?
Yukawa?
Yukawa's 2D game was like the art style specifically.
Yeah.
So I would say it's not the worst, but it's not the best.
Is it like beginner friendly?
It's beginner friendly, so I think it goes right alongside Sonic the Hedgehog.
Me
Like
too.
that's that era's version of Sonic.
Can't win them all.
I won't lie, I've heard real deal legends about Sonic Advance 2. I almost said Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic Advance 2. I've heard kids get stumped on this shit. Can you relate? I didn't play this trilogy. I'm gonna get to my trilogy when it pop up, but
Okay, it's challenging only because there's like the trick system and like, so it's similar. I always remember Knights, but it has a trick system and keeping momentum is solely reliable on that trick system and keeping airtime as well.
okay.
So it's not beginner.
The skill ceiling is pretty high for that one.
Yeah,
from what I
but
heard.
people love it because of the challenge, and people say it's the best out of the Advanced trilogy.
Therefore, I'll put it in a comfy.
No problem.
All right, next we got Sonic Heroes. Once again, I played one level and got an E rank. I played, you know, because I booted up the game and I was like, oh shit, I finally get to play this game. Let's fucking go. And I'm like, oh, I get to choose my characters. Obviously, me being a Shadow fan, Well, I'm a Sonic and Shadow fan, but like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I want to play a Shadow, so I'm like, fuck it, man. Let's play Team Dark. I got obliterated, so my experience wasn't very pleasant. But you played more, so.
Alright, it is one of the most early generations of jank that you will experience in Sonic before the great year of 2006. So even though it has a lot of charm, it has replayability in quotation marks, because you do not want to replay those 14 levels over and over and over again.
Type beat.
So unfortunately, it might have to go on the smooth C.
I'm probably gonna get some hate for that, but you know what I'm saying? Hey, bring it. Sonic Battle, I wish I played it as a kid. I'm not gonna cap. I swore. No, you know what's crazy? One of my friends had it when I was young in kindergarten. They brought it to school one time, and they were like, "Yo, look, I got a Sonic game, man! I got a Sonic game!" And I'm not gonna cap. The whole day, I was genuinely considering backdooring that motherfucker and robbing him. I was dead ass thinking about sneaking into his backpack, snuffing that shit, and then just stuffing it in my pocket, then going home and playing that shit all fucking day. But then I couldn't get the chance. Like I tried to look for, like, without getting too sidetracked, I couldn't get like the chance to steal it. That's another topic for another day. Honestly, I like the concept, and this shit. I feel like a lot of people use this shit as inspiration when it came to those sprite battles. But what do you think? Because you played it more, right?
Okay, so this actually had not the introduction. Yeah, I think it was the introduction to Emerald.
To Emerald and
Emerald. I keep calling him Emerald.
Then General was in Advanced 3, I think.
Yeah, Advanced 3, because he got basically deactivated by the end of the game. You're basically playing as him, and that you're facing off against the other Sonic characters, and also playing as the Sonic characters. But he's basically learning from all the Sonic cast, and just like learning friendship and meaning and all of this, only for him to basically essentially be deactivated by the end of the thing. Which is how Eggman stumbled across him for Advanced 3 and rebuilds him up to be General.
Cause I'm thinking either high B or middle tier A.
Oh, smooth B tier, B tier.
Can't win them all.
And then Advanced 3, I'm pretty sure Shadow's in that motherfucker too. And y'all, if y'all know me, y'all know I love Shadow. I never played this game though.
Even though there's a lot of playable characters, the character combos, it's obviously which character combos are more strategically used.
I forgot about the character combos.
Yeah, so like if you like pair like Knuckles and Cream together, I'm pretty sure it's like butt movie ass when they pair them together. But like anybody with Sonic works out great. But if you like pair Cream and Tails or Tails and Shadow,
Yeah. Damn, does it? I feel like B would be a spot for it.
it's definitely better than the original Advance. I'll say that.
So it gets a
Can't win them all.
We got Shadow the Hedgehog. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen gameplay footage and it looks similar to Sonic Heroes, so I feel like.
Okay, so it has. The thing is, it has like a bunch of branching story paths, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's like 20 different endings, right?
Yeah.
So, and you have to do like micro things. It was basically the Undertale of Sonic the Hedgehog's game, but this is Shadow the Hedgehog.
Jesus.
There's a general good, a general neutral, and a general bad ending. The thing is, everything's relatively really short, but it doesn't play like, it doesn't have like speed gameplay, like there's speed elements and stuff like that, but it's basically a score attack.
Which isn't new since we saw that shit in Sonic Adventure 2.
Right, but it has like those stagnant pauses within stages where you're just collecting bodies and stuff like that rather than progressing through the stage, you know?
I ain't gonna lie, that sound boring.
It's not boring because the levels are pretty short.
Do I want to give this? I don't want to give it C, but I definitely. I don't know. It's like.
Low B, high C. It's better than Sonic Heroes, sorta.
Is it?
You can play through it.
We're gonna get canceled like shit saying shit like that. But you know what? Fine.
But I like.
Can't win them all.
I'm just trying to be a little realistic here.
Yeah, of course. Now Sonic Rush. Let me tell you about Sonic Rush. Now I know for a fact. There's definitely some advanced lovers in here. I'm here to tell y'all Sonic Rush, first Sonic Rush, in my opinion, was one of the best 2D Sonic games of all time. I'm dying on that hill. You got, first up, not only did they introduce Blaze in that game, it had a pretty solid story. It wasn't too crazy, but they had a pretty solid story. I just feel like the story combined with the gameplay. Granted, there are some levels that will kick your ass, like Altitude Limit. I know a lot of people got cooked on that stage, but I don't know. I used to love that stage as a kid. I used to replay that shit for hours. I think it was the music that just had me constantly revisiting that stage. It was just tough to me. So with that being said, I ain't gonna cap. It definitely left some things to be desired. Like I definitely think this game was 3D. It would have been 10 out of 10. But we'll get to that soon. So with that being said,
No problem.
Sonic Riders. Now come on, man. Now come on. Y'all know. Come on. Sonic Riders is loved this way. Cause I ain't gonna lie, but I will tell you, I have not played the original Riders. I played Zero Gravity on the Wii, but I never played the original.
I played a little bit.
A little bit, and from what I played, it's pretty solid, honestly. Solid control. I see what they was trying to do. Now, do I want to give it A tier?
A lot of the consensus is Sonic Riders is more, the original Sonic Riders before Zero Gravity, is that it's more difficult due to like the technical like aspects that go into it, right? So not only do you have to account into the route you take depending on the flight, power, or speed types, you also have to take into account of keeping your momentum, because that thing can just go down immediately, right?
Yeah.
And then you're just kind of like, you're just stuck like slugging along, right?
Yeah.
So it's very easy to get caught up in that. That and the CPU are like really difficult for like no reason. Like they'll be whooping your ass in the story mode.
That shit reminds me of a game that got released rather recently. We'll get to that game when we get to it.
But I feel like that game has like not better controls, but like it's more straightforward. Also, the game doesn't teach you how to play. You actually have to go in the settings, and there's a secret film tutorial. Like the tutorial is a film that you have to go into settings to find.
Remember when games used to do that, where you actually had to where they had not manuals, but like video tutorials on how to play the game? I remember Smash Bros. Brawl had that shit. That shit was tough to me.
But didn't it play it while the screen was idle?
Yeah.
Yeah. Riders doesn't do that. Riders says you gotta go find this.
Yeah, with that being said, I don't know. Can I give Riders a A? Yeah, I have too much respect for Riders.
No problem.
Growing up, this is one of the Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic 06 is dead ass one of those games you have as a kid, and you don't realize it's bad because you just think you're bad at the game. Meanwhile, you find out the game is just pure shit. Like, I'm not gonna care. There's a couple games on this list, but I'll get to those when I get to those. I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret. So back when I was younger, I had a PlayStation 3, right? I had Sonic 06, and I had Sonic Unleashed. Two 10 out of 10 game, or one 10 out of 10 game, and one glitchy, janky mess. Can y'all guess which one I played more? Sonic 06. Now, there's a reason behind that though. I played Sonic 06 more because it had more playable characters. I didn't really like Unleashed as a kid. As a kid though, because I didn't like how you could only play as Sonic, man. I wanted to play as like Knuckles, Shadow, Blaze, Silver. You know, I wanted to play as some goats. But you know what I'm saying? I never growing up. I wanted to play. I liked Sonic games that where you could play as multiple playable characters. So I played 06 more, right? Sure enough, that shit was that was probably one of the worst decisions I ever made in my life, because I spent hours trying to work past the jank in the game. I'll never forget, there was this one part in Kingdom Valley. Oh my gosh. It was a part in Kingdom Valley, right? Where we have to hit the Lightspeed trail as Sonic. And in order to hit that shit, you have to tap the joystick. Now, I'm not gonna cap. This is a problem I have with any game that does this shit. When you gotta tap the joystick to do like specific moves, it pisses me off. Because for whatever reason, my joystick would rarely ever register the Lightspeed dash. So I died on that level multiple times, and what's worse is that when you die on the Kingdom Hearts,
You're stupid.
the Kingdom Valley level, when you die on that shit, you end up having to replay like the 3 town missions where you have to fight like a slew of enemies with no rings. You have to do a puzzle and shit. Like you have to do all that shit back to like all over again just to get a chance at the damn Lightspeed dash again. And I'm not gonna cap, that shit stressed me the fuck out as a kid. I think my migraine started there. So I'm not gonna lie, but this is base 06, not Project 06. If it was Project 06, S tier. But this is base 06. This is great. This is base 06, like Xbox 360 release and PS3 release. This shit is going. Do I have the guts to put it in the Rotten Hell We Ready for Belong tier? You know what? I can't. I don't have the guts, y'all. You know why though? Because like growing up, this game just spoke to me. Like even though it was bad, it just felt like there's the one thing I will never forget about Sonic 06 is, okay, yeah, the gameplay, pure shit. We can all admit that. But I'm not gonna lie, when I saw like the trailers for it, the music, the characterization, it all felt so cinematic and confident. Like everything about the game felt like they were certain this shit was gonna be 10 out of 10, and it really should have been. So to me, I'm like, and then the music was 10. Bro, they dropped bangers like His World, Dreams of an Absolution. Bro, and mind you, what's it called? The final boss with Solaris, where they played the orchestra version of His World. That shit still lives in my head. That shit lives in all our heads rent free. So I'm not gonna cap, even though it was bad, it's like the type of bad game that you'd boot up any day if you could. And I feel like a couple of y'all will feel me on that. Like, picture this. It's like, it has good things in it. Like the level design is a 10 out of 10. Like levels like Kingdom Valley, Wave Ocean, Crisis City all feel like so cinematic and feel like mind you, I feel like I don't think it's a stretch to say this. I feel like more people in 2025, more people would probably want a Sonic 06 remake than a Sonic Unleashed remake. And I'm not gonna cap. Y'all might say I'm crazy for saying that, but I'm not gonna lie. I feel like most of y'all would really want an 06 remake over an Unleashed remake. Unleashed is we'll get to Unleashed when we get to Unleashed. But 06 deserved something. It deserved like to be remembered. It didn't get that. So I can't be too hard on this game. I remember stressing, but I do have a lot of good memories with this shit. So you know what? I ain't gonna cap. You know what? Do I want to put it in B? Like on one hand, my common sense is fighting my nostalgia, and I'm just like you know, like I'm trying to really think, like, does it deserve, like, does it? I think I gotta put it in C. Because the base form was bad, but it's the type of bad game that I would play any day type game. Now, Sonic and the Secret Rings, recently, I was able to, what's it called? So, someone got me Secret Rings and Black Knight. And they were urging me, like, yo, you gotta play these games. You gotta play Secret Rings and Black Knight. So, I booted up Secret Rings one day, right? I booted up a Wii U, got the sensor bar for the Wii rolling, and got the Wii remote out. And I'm not gonna cap. I genuinely might have to backdoor that person from putting me through that type of stress. Not you. It's her. It's 100% her. I'm capping like a month. What happened?
You're playing Peak.
Yeah, Peak. I'm backdooring her. I ain't gonna care. I'm backdooring her. But yeah, you know what? This game, like I said with Sonic 06, it's a game I have a lot of nostalgia for. Because this era of Sonic was stressful for all the wrong reasons. But I wouldn't lie, Secret Rings, like despite all jokes aside, it's a good game for the Wii. And I do feel like if this game was released like on all consoles, I generally feel like it might have been like a 10 out of 10. Cause take out the motion controls, it's actually a solid game. I remember I played a Project Reignition, but I can't talk about like mods and shit. And with that being said, I don't know, I just can't, like, it's janky as shit. But it's like, once you learn like how to maneuver, it's not that bad, honestly. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, but it deserves a
No problem.
It's more playable than base Sonic 06. Now, Sonic Rush Adventure, I'm probably gonna get flamed for this, but Sonic Rush, the first Sonic Rush is better than Rush Adventure. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. And I'm not gonna lie, I played a lot of Rush Adventure. I played a lot of that shit. But every time I played Rush Adventure for like maybe like an hour as a kid, and then went right back to original Sonic Rush. I always felt like Rush Adventure just felt like too much, like, I felt like you spent too much time trying to navigate the next stage, and me as a kid, I was done. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I didn't know how to navigate maps and shit. I didn't think I was playing. I thought I was playing Sonic Rush. I didn't think I was playing National Geographic. So I'm just like, you know, it's not horrible. The game works. The screen turn on. So I'll give it a B. Okay, Sonic Chronicles. I ain't gonna lie. I know there's some Sonic Chronicles fans out there, but this game was pretty ass. I ain't gonna lie. Now I know that's a controversial opinion, but y'all gotta stick with me on this. Now I can sit here and appreciate what they did, what they tried to do, because the RPG elements are top notch. You sound like you want to say something. I hear you over there seething.
It has a good story. It's just the music is ass, and the models are kind of ass too.
It has a good story. Yeah, I can give it that, and the characterization is solid, especially for this time where we barely had any games where we got to play as anyone other than Sonic. So I'll give it props for what it did good. It did more bad than good, and that music is absolute like oh my, I don't need to talk about the music. Y'all, yeah, if y'all play it, y'all know. Like, I won't lie, this game is going bad soundtrack for bad soundtrack with Sonic Eraser. That's the next tier list right there. Ranking Sonic games based on the soundtrack. Maybe then we'll put Sonic 06 in top tier. Riding hell, you ready for belong, man.
That was lame.
Also, if y'all are wondering why I put this tier, y'all know what games are going here. I don't even gotta say it. Y'all know what games are going here. We got Sonic Rider Zero Gravity. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go into a little side story real quick. So I remember one time when I was younger, like this was like when I was maybe like second or third grade. It was like second or third grade. My grandma and my grandpa went to I don't want to say where, but they went out of the country for a vacation, you know? And out there they had like this store where they had like all this like secondhand stuff. One day while they were on vacation, they called me. And they said, hey, there's a Sonic game out here, and there's some Sonic plushies or Sonic toys. And I'm like, and my young self is like, for real? Oh my gosh! I just broke a couple of y'all earphones. One of the games they had was Sonic Rider Zero Gravity. I didn't know what game she was buying, but she had told me, oh, I bought you some Sonic stuff I found out here. And I'm thinking, I'm excited because I'm like, holy crap, like I'm like Sonic. Oh my gosh, like I'm getting Sonic games. Like, oh my god, yippee! So when she came back, she gave me a bag, and in the bag was a Knuckles plushie and a copy of Sonic Rider Zero Gravity. So you already know me, I was hyped. Back then, it was so hard to get Sonic merch. Like today, you'll find that shit easy. But back then, if y'all know how it was toy hunting back in like 2005, 2008, Sonic merch wasn't like too prominent until like Jazzwares popped out. When it comes to like plushies and action figures and shit. But when it came to games, for me, it was hard to get into games because not a lot of people bought games for me growing up. It was just like they would buy me like one game, and I would play that shit for like the entirety of the year. Honestly, not much has changed, but but honestly, I have a lot of good memories with this game. I won't lie. And another case of if the soundtrack carried the game, S tier. With this game, I have a lot of nostalgia for it. I remember playing this on a sideways Wiimote. I was in my bag. I'm trying to think. Like, it played decently. The gravity feature was pretty solid. Character selection was pretty solid too. I'm pretty sure wasn't this was the first time we saw Silver in the Riders series too. And I haven't commented on it yet, but the Riders designs were always a 10 out of 10. But I don't know. Growing up, I had a lot of fun with this one. And I mean, like I said, it controls. The screen turns on, and like I said, it had some good music. So I don't know, controversial opinion, but this might have to go in the.
Beautiful!
I could speak for hours. I could make a whole video talking about this shit alone. Masterpiece alone. We got Sonic Unleashed. Now I'm not gonna lie. When I was a kid, I wasn't really in tune with like video game trailers a lot. Like I saw the trailer and I was hyped. I remember I was so hyped that when I heard a news report. I heard a news report way back when, right? I was in my grandma's house watching TV about someone who waited outside for when Sonic Unleashed released, and then they were they were on the news, and the news was like yo, this guy's the first person to own Sonic Unleashed, and I'm sitting here hating like shit because I'm like my young self was like, man, fuck that guy, I should be the first to own Sonic Unleashed, man, fuck, you know, I was mad, but then when I got it as a kid, I'm not gonna lie, I sucked at it. But that's normal though. Or I played more 06 as I got older than Unleashed, because I was bad at Unleashed. I wasn't much better at Sonic 06 though, I'll tell you that much. When I went back and played it in its like original form, I booted up an Xbox 360 and played Sonic Unleashed after getting a copy. Now I won't lie, it was solid for what it was. I know there was frame rate issues by the time I got to Jungle Joyride, One thing I will not recommend is if you're going to play through the game, do not play on like old hardware, because once you get to Eggman Land, you will get messed up. I learned that the hard way. I don't think it's a stretch to say that Sonic Unleashed had some of the best levels in the series. You had Rooftop Run, Dragon Road, Arid Sands, Jungle Joyride, and Eggman Land, which I'm not gonna cap. It might be a hot take, but Eggman Land is the best Sonic stage in all of history. I didn't think that at first, but then after replaying it a couple times, I was like, damn, this stage is really active. And best believe, you know, now it's my favorite stage. Right above Jungle Joyride, because Jungle Joyride is a 10 out of 10 too. And the warehouse stage, I do gotta mention though, they can be a slog to get through at first, but it's not too bad. I feel like a lot of people say a lot of mean things about it, which hurts my feelings, you know what I'm saying? Because why y'all saying that about my GOAT? As a kid, I used to love the Werehog. I remember Jazzwares released this Werehog action figure back in the day. I wouldn't call myself a scammer, but I ain't gonna cap. I somehow finessed damn near every family member into getting me the same exact Werehog figure over and over again. To the point where Jack Specific released their Werehog figure, I pre-ordered that shit day one. People could say, oh my god, I hate the Werehog stages, but me personally, I loved every second of it. Except Arid Sands Night, that was pretty stressful. And Skyscraper Scamper Night, I won't lie, I spent a lot of time on that level. It was mostly the tightrope walking sections with where you have to with the spikes on the sides. That shit was stressful, especially when they start collapsing. It's like, god damn, bro, give me a break. It's one of those Sonic games that you start off and you're kind of bad at it. But the more and more you practice the stages, the more and more like that muscle memory kicks in and you become like a fucking GOAT. So therefore, it feels good. It feels good playing it too, because you start off kind of unfamiliar. Hell, it took me a while to get used to square being the boost button, because I was so familiar with Sonic Frontiers control. So with that being said,
Piece of cake!
this is literally my favorite Sonic game of all time. Alright, Sonic and the Black Knight. I got a lot of nostalgia for this one too, I won't lie. I do have like another Sonic toy story. So when I was younger, I remember I passed a spelling test of mine, and my mom had came home from Toys R Us, because there's a big ass Toys R Us in my area. So she had brought home this Jazzwares Sonic figure that had the gauntlet and the Excalibur sword. I was looking at that shit looking like that one Miles Morales meme, because I didn't think that shit was real. Mind you, I wasn't using the internet like that, so when I saw seeing these action figures in person was the first time I was seeing them. And sure enough, when I got that shit, I was hyped. I was like, holy shit, it's Sonic holding a sword. Oh my fucking god. Low-key, I do remember playing a lot of the game. I will not lie. This game, I probably have a lot of hours on this shit in the week. Growing up, I definitely played Black Knight more than Secret Rings. And I'm not gonna cap, another case of, if it was primarily the soundtrack, S tier. Because you had tracks like Night of the Wind, tracks like Camelot Castle. You had the character designs too. You had Sir Galahad, Sir Lancelot. I think like the best part was just seeing these characters in different environments. And plus we got to play as Knuckles, Shadow, and Blaze in the game. That was like the first time we had gotten to play them in a while. Hell, I'm pretty sure Black Knight was the last time we got to play as Blaze. Am I wrong? I don't hear a lot of people talk about that. But you know what? Sonic and the Black Knight, I won't lie. Even though it had motion controls and whatever, they controlled a little better than Sonic and the Secret Rings. They gotta be A tier.
No problem!
Alright, Sonic Colors. I'm probably gonna get some hate for this take. Out of the 3 boost games, Unleashed, Colors, and Generations, Colors is like the neglected middle child. I played the game growing up. I had it on the Wii. It wasn't like hitting for me as a kid. I don't know. It's just, I think the Wisps kind of ruined it for me. And also the game was like heavily 2D focused too. And I ain't really, I don't know, when Sonic games focus too much on 2D, it ruins it for me. It's in its element when it's in 3D. That's why I like Sonic Adventure 2 so much. And Sonic Unleashed, yeah, it has 2D sections as well, but they go by faster, and I feel like you could skip most of them too. Like in Arid Sands, there's a level skip that you could do near the end of the level where you can where there's like these moving platforms that like go up and down, and they're surrounded by spikes. There's a level skip you could do where if you hit the red ring and hit the trampoline and do an air boost, you could skip that entire section. Same in that same level, there's a section on the where you're skating on the rails, and then if you jump at the right time, you can hit a trail of red rings and skip that entire 2D section. So I feel like Unleashed has more ways to skip those annoying 2D sections than Colors does. When you compare it to games like Unleashed, it's just like, it's kind of mediocre in my opinion. Not bad, it's just like left a lot to be desired for me at least. So B tier.
Can't win them all.
Colors DS? Now I had to include this one because like I included Rush and Rush Adventure, so I kind of had to give some love to the quote-unquote third Rush game. I'm not gonna say it's better than the console version, but I definitely played this one a lot. I feel like I played this one almost as much as I played on Rush. which unfortunately I feel like Rush Adventure and Colors are like, for me, are like the neglected middle children of their respective trilogies. This is gonna be controversial as shit. You could think of this game as like as similar to, because this game is similar to Unleashed in the same way that this game is similar to Rush. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like this does a better job of being like Sonic Rush 1 than it does being a 2D or a mobile version of Sonic Colors.
Beautiful!
Alright, Sonic Generations, okay, y'all already know. A tier. But I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. Growing up, I liked Sonic Generations. I just felt like it was too short, and I also didn't like how, once again, you only played as Sonic. In a game where you go through the stages and see all of Sonic's friends and go through Sonic's history, I kind of wish you got to play as at least Tails, you know? And yeah, there's side missions you could do in the game where you get to like where the cast of characters will either race against you or help you out with some shit. Like there's a stage where you get to race against Tails in the Tornado, and there's a stage in Sky Sanctuary where you get to treasure hunt with Knuckles, and then there's a stage in Rooftop Run where you get to make music with Vector. So it's like, I appreciate Sonic Generations for doing that. At least they're relevant. I'll talk about the rival battles and the boss battles like order. With Metal Sonic, he was cool. I like that boss fight. I definitely feel like they could have done a little bit more. I also feel like the environment in that stage felt like leftovers of Eggman Land instead of like Stardust Speedway. But that's just my opinion. I could be, you know what I'm saying? Some people might just tell me to side out. And then you had the Death Egg, which was cool. It was cool. I liked what they went for. It felt like a nice little remake / update. I will say the Shadow rival battle, like I feel like I wanted a little bit more out of that battle. It was cool that you got to fight on the Space Colony arc. That was cool. That was chill. But I feel like you could finish the boss fight too quickly, and it's just like, damn, man. I kind of wish it lasted a little longer. Perfect Chaos boss fight, 10 out of 10 boss fight that would play again. That was my favorite boss fight in the game. Rival battle, Silver. That rival battle, another 10 out of 10 boss battle, would play again. That's my second favorite boss fight in the game. The Egg Dragoon, I'm not gonna lie, that shit kind of pales in comparison to Sonic Unleashed. Skating on the rails and running towards him was cool and all, but like the original Unleashed boss fight captured the scale better. Like you were going from like floor to floor to floor. You were literally falling to the core of the earth. It felt more grand in scale. Whereas like in the Generations boss fight, it feels more like you're contained. Definitely think Generations could have benefited from some DLC stages, but I'll talk about that in a second. Green Hill was cool, good introductory stage. Chemical Plant was solid too. I like the different pathways and shit. Those are pretty solid. Sky Sanctuary was cool too. Then you get to the adventure area where you get Speed Highway, City Escape, and Seaside Hill. 10 out of 10. Those are some good picks. I kind of wish they chose a different Adventure 2 stage. Like Metal Harbor would have been kind of cool. City Escape is more recognizable. You get to the modern era where you get Crisis City, Rooftop Run, and Planet Wisp. Which I'm not gonna lie, out of those 3 stages, only one of those was a 10 out of 10, and it's Rooftop. Crisis City, I won't lie, I didn't like how the whole latter half of the stage was 2D focused. Because you start off with a solid introduction where you're running down the ramp, and then you hit the platforming from like your platform off falling debris and shit. That's cool. Those are good set pieces. I just hated how it felt like the latter half of the stage came to like a screeching halt when you go inside the building. You have to like use the stomp maneuver. I feel like if they took that out and replaced that with another 3D section, it would have been a 10 out of 10. I like the part at the end where you're running towards the tornado and dodging debris. That's cool. But I feel like that whole 2D section takes the level down for me. And then, do I even need to say anything about Planet Wisp? Deadass. Do I even need to say anything about Planet Wisp? And then Time Eater was also like an underwhelming boss too. I'm not gonna lie. He was an underwhelming final boss. But I hate flying forward and trying to gather rings because you can barely see them. And it's similar to the final boss in Unleashed with Dark Gaia. But kinda and kinda not. It's like both have you flying forward, but I feel like in Unleashed I can see the rings easier, and it just feels more climatic too. Because like I said, you're fighting in the center of the earth as Chip is helping you out, and you have to take out the tendril. That's more creative than the Time Eater boss. Sonic Generations pros outweigh the cons, so I'll give it an A too. I'll give it an A.
Piece of cake.
Sonic Lost World, honestly, I played it a lot as a kid. I won't lie. I had the 3DS version, but I did play the console version too. I have a lot of good memories with it, and I appreciate what they were trying to do. How they were trying to like find, like they took away the boost. Yeah, I'm not against it, but I do kind of wish that, I don't know, the game left a lot to be desired. So with that being said, I'll put it in bad. I don't think it's bad enough to be put alongside, like, cause it's not janky. It's just boring. I know there's a lot of Lost World fans out there, so this for y'all. This has been a long time coming. Now let me get into some details though. As a whole, I fucking hate Sonic Boom. Now I know. Should put the pitchforks down. Put the pitchforks down. I'm explaining why I hate Sonic Boom and everything that came with it. I know there's a lot of people that have a soft spot for the cartoon, and yeah, y'all can have that soft spot. You know what I'm saying? If y'all find it funny, that's beautiful. I love that for y'all. Me personally, I hated the cartoon growing up. I hated the games growing up, and I still hate it now. Imagine that you're a young kid growing up on what you think is a peak era for Sonic. You just came off the heels of Unleashed, Colors, and Generations, and you're eagerly waiting for that next Sonic game. So you get Sonic Lost World, and you're like, okay, what game are they gonna do next? Like, it gotta be crazy. They gotta do like some type of Adventure 3 type of shit, right? And then they hit you with Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric. I was disappointed as a kid. I remember seeing the first like sneak peek for Sonic Boom as a kid. I was eagerly waiting for. I'm thinking, holy crap, we're gonna get a new series of Sonic games. Like, oh my gosh, what are they gonna do? When I saw that first trailer, I sat in my room just lost, like stuck. I felt like I saw a ghost. I felt like I lost a friend. Is this like a permanent change? Like, what are we gonna do? I promise y'all, I gave Sonic Boom a chance. Can we talk about the fact that Cartoon Network hold the fuck out of that show too? They aired that bitch at 7 a.m. on Saturdays. You really think I'm setting an alarm for Sonic Boom at 7 a.m. on a Saturday? I remember when Saturday morning cartoons used to be worth waking up for. Goddamn motherfucking Yu-Gi-Oh, Kirby Right Back at You, Ninja Turtles, Sonic X, 10 out of 10s on CW4 Kids. And then you got this shit? Fuck no. What's going on? Like, what happened to Sonic? Why is he wearing sports tape? Is he a fucking Ninja Turtle? Why is Knuckles built like Donkey? Where's Shadow? Where's Silver? Where's Blaze? Like, what the fuck happened? I was lost, man. I was in denial. I was like, maybe they'll introduce him in the game. Maybe, like, you know, stumbling over my words, man. I feel like seeing this logo gives me PTSD. This might have been the first heartbreak I ever went through. I grew up on 10 out of 10 Sonic content. Y'all mofos can call this the Dark Age if y'all want, but the Dark Age not only had Sonic and the Secret Ring, Sonic 06, yeah, they had some studs, but we had Sonic Riders, Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Rush. Like, you gonna sit here and tell me that was the Dark Age? I wanna see it. And we had the best sprite battles too, so, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna cap, but I'll never forget Game Grumps making videos on this game, just going out of their way to like find new glitches. I remember people not even just Game Grumps finding glitches in the game, just everybody. I remember there was this YouTube channel called Son of a Glitch that I used to watch back in the day. They covered this game too, and I didn't realize it was that glitchy. Hell, I think it might be more glitchy than Sonic 06. Why did my voice crack like that? It sucked back then, and it sucks forever. Also, the figures for Sonic Boom made by Tomy were awful. Not to get too distracted, but I had a Knuckles action figure, right? From Sonic Boom. The first one I had like it split at the crotch. I shit you not. So I'm thinking to myself, damn it, now I gotta buy another one. I buy another one. It has that same exact issue. I bought the Amy figure too, right? I took her out the box. Her torso fell off. She was out here looking like Gojo. Yeah, everything around Sonic Boom just sucked. Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal, the DS version. People say this was slightly better. No. And Fire and Ice, I ain't gonna cap, bro. By the time this game came out, it was like, wrap it up, bro. It's time to move on, bro. Popping off like y'all thought it was. I don't know if Sega thought this shit was finna be the next. Sonic Boom was about to feed families. No, bro. This game came out, I had given up on Sonic. Grew up on that. I was just like, I can't, bro. It's just not what it was, and I don't think it ever will be that again. Or so I thought.
That was lame.
I ain't gonna cap, that soundtrack earned its spot. Sonic Mania, I'm not gonna lie, y'all will flame me if I don't put this in at least A tier. But y'all will kill me if I don't put this in A tier. Alright, what's next? Sonic Forces? Okay, come on. I've heard a lot of people trying to defend this game saying, oh, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty solid. Come on now, like, what are we doing? Like, I've seen so many opinions change on Sonic games that it's not even funny anymore. Like, I know y'all want to make a case and say that this game deserves like at least A. I'm just not giving it that tier. I'm sorry. Now I won't put it in the bottom tier, but it's in C.
That was lame.
Sonic Frontiers, I'm not gonna lie. I've heard a lot of people trying to switch up on this game too, saying it's bad. No, it is a 8.9 out of 10 in my book, and I'm dying on that hill. So I ain't gonna cap. High A tier. Hell, I'm not gonna cap. Hot take. I know I'm gonna get flamed for this, but Sonic Frontiers over Sonic Generations. Now I know that's crazy, and mind you, I can cook like shit in Sonic Generations. I'm good at Sonic Generations. I think I'm good at it. I can hit the shortcuts in Speed Highway, like that one shortcut with the rail at the top. I could hit that shortcut, so I think I'm pretty good at the game. And in a rooftop run, I can hit that one shortcut where you could like air boost over the balloon section in the 2D section. That one 2D section with the balloons and shit. I could air boost. So I'd say I'm pretty good at the game. Yeah, you know. But Sonic Frontiers is just more fun. Shadow Generation, when this game dropped, I didn't know how to feel about it at first. I was like, expansion for Sonic Generations? Now, will this play like Frontiers or Generations? I didn't know if it was gonna pop off or not. But then when I played it, that shit was perfect. That shit felt so fluid to control. That shit, mind you. Let me briefly talk about the stage. Some of my favorite stages, or just what I think of every single stage. Space Colony Arc, I love that stage. There's this level skip I always hit when I play the stage where near the missile part, right, where you have to like use chaos control to like stop the missiles from firing so you can get through. What I do is I hit the robots and then hit the chaos control thing, and then go back and then use chaos control, then use chaos spears to jump over the ramp on the left to get to the other platform and skip like a whole portion of the stage. That is such a good time saver. And Shadow Generation has level skips, has tons of level skips like that. And Kingdom Valley has a couple of those. If I had to name all of them, I would be here all day. But even the Act 2s, which I did complain about 2D, yeah. But I won't lie, when I played the Act 2 stages, I felt flashes of Sonic Rush. I felt nostalgic. I felt like I was playing Sonic Rush again. I'm not gonna lie, Kingdom Valley might be one of my favorite stages in the game. Between Kingdom Valley and Shadow Gens and Jungle Joyride and Sonic Unleashed, those two are like fighting for number 2 spot in terms of best Sonic levels of all time, in my personal opinion. Just how like expansive it felt like. It felt like you were going around the whole kingdom, and then you had Act 2 where you go inside the castle, which felt so odd being in there, but like right too though. Sunset Heights, I ain't gonna care. I love speedrunning Sunset Heights and just abusing chaos control, because you can shave off so many seconds if you know how to use it in Sunset Heights. And then you got Chaos Island, which was pretty solid too. I ain't gonna cap. So when I saw Chaos Island, I was surprised. I was like, wait a second, a stage from Frontiers? What is going on? And it was odd seeing Shadow in a Frontier stage, but it felt right. Then you got Radical Highway, which I'm not gonna cap. I had to bust my ass to get that A rank or S rank. It was difficult, but once you get it, you feel accomplished. And then Act 2 was even harder. I won't lie, I think Radical Highway was solid in Shadow Gens. It was definitely one of my favorite stages. I'm still putting Kingdom Valley over that though. I gotta mention the boss fight. Bio Lizard, Metal Overlord, and Mephiles, 10 out of 10 choices. I'm actually mad that Mephiles wasn't chosen for Sonic Generations as a boss fight. But I'm actually really glad that he was chosen for Shadow Gen. And then Metal Overlord, another 10 out of 10 boss. That shit might actually be my favorite Sonic boss of all time. Like using the Doom Surf and then hitting like the debris and shit, using chaos control, it just felt so like climatic. And then the Bowser, it was a good fight too. I think it was a good introductory boss, just to like get used to the control. Devil Doom at the end, he was difficult, but I won't lie, I had a lot of fun with that boss. Getting S ranks on all the bosses was fun as hell. So I ain't gonna lie, this is definitely
piece of cake.
Oh, between Adventure 2, Unleashed, and Generations, those are my 3 favorite Sonic games of all time. Alright, Crossroads, I've played the beta. That junk was fun. I'm not gonna lie, playing the beta brought me back to I don't know, it brought me back to my days playing Mario Kart Wii on the Wii. Like I think we could first talk about how it compares to Sonic Riders and Zero Gravity. And then we can talk about how it compares to certain other racers. I'll do a DX version of this tier list in the future.
You gotta include the GOAT Sonic Eraser next time. I think the original Sonic Sega racing games were good, but they weren't great, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they were good, but it was basically still trying to find its identity, and I feel like the identity was, like, peaking at writers, so eliminating the writers' characters and focusing on a Sega cast, well, not a bad thing, because we have Sega Tennis, right?
Sega Tennis was fire, I won't lie.
It worked. It
did
but
work.
Shrinking down the Sonic roster in favor of other characters kind of like maybe lost its identity a little bit, and then just sticking straight to cars also was a pretty bad idea.
I will say Team Sonic Racing, I like the character interactions at most, but you know, I played that junk on the Wii, not the Wii, the Switch. I played it on the Switch. It was kind of bad. I ain't gonna cap. Who did I play as again? Was it Knuckles or Shadow?
I played as Shadow. I think I played as Knuckles.
Yeah.
That shit was buns.
It was fucking horrible. I'm not gonna lie. But
I don't know if it was just the Switch version that was really bad, but I think a lot of people felt that.
the Switch version is always bad.
Like how you can turn to a monster truck at the beginning of the race.
Yo, I abused that mechanic. As soon as I found out I could equip that junk, I was like, I'm about to troll. Soon, I would be. It's crazy because I would see so many other racers holding that junk in their hands, and I'm just like, I gotta use it first. So like, bro, I would mow down everybody and put a target on my head just for the sake of being an asshole. But it was fun though. I don't think the past Sonic racing games have had stuff like that. I know they had items, but they didn't have like the chaoticness that Sonic Crossworlds had.
I also think it has a strong like artistic identity.
That's true too.
Because it's so colorful when you can see the tracks, and I feel like even though the gimmick of it is the Crossroads gimmick, but I do want to see like full versions of the stages without the Crossroads thing. That's just a me thing.
That's fair. I want to see the full version of Dragon Road. Y'all have to drop that. Y'all can't give me. Y'all can't tease me like that, bro. I need the full stage, man. I need the full stage, man. I'm looking like a crack addict right here, bro. I need it, man. Sega, drop that stage, man. Drop the assets, bro, please.
And even though they don't have like crazy shortcuts and stuff like that, I know you brought up Mario Kart Wii, which was known for its most absurd amount of shortcuts.
Hell yeah.
The most absurd. Like they have two different names. It's like direct shortcuts and then like shortcuts you gotta glitch the game into.
I see why it's called Mario Kart Wii, because as soon as you hit those shortcuts, you out here shouting, Wii! That was corny as shit. But I'm not gonna lie, I've seen a lot of people who have Switch 2s playing do I want to say its name? Or MKW. I've seen a lot of people playing that kart racer. And then they'll play it for like, I've seen most of YouTubers do this shit where they'll play it for like a couple of weeks and then go straight back to Mario Kart 8. And it's just like, damn. It's like y'all didn't even give it a chance. Y'all couldn't even give it like a month before y'all went back. And then I see a lot of people playing Crossworlds and be like, damn, this game is actually fun as hell. I think the items are also used pretty well too. Like the boxing gloves are pretty generic and shit, but I like how they use the wisps specifically.
Yeah, the rosters that they have kind of broadened the audience as well.
That they did.
Because even though I'm like, what the hell does SpongeBob have to do with Sonic? That's still gonna bring a lot of people in, I say.
I find it funny that they made SpongeBob a handling character, knowing damn well that man can't drive. He can drive everything but a boat. He can drive extreme gear, but he can't pass his driving test.
You don't miss Puff in that crowd crying.
Right? Character selection is pretty solid. I like the rival battle interactions too. This is the first time we saw characters like Shadow and Silver speak in like almost 10 years. Almost 20 years. And we get to see Blaze and Silver talk again. I won't lie, I do miss Rouge flirting with Knuckles. Now it looks like she flirts with Sonic. That's just a side thing though. Like I miss my Knuckles and Rouge interactions. I grew up on Sonic X, y'all. Come on, you know. One thing I kind of hope they do is like alternate costumes for like all the characters. Like it would be kind of cool if we got the Sonic characters in their Justice League skins. It can go in S tier or A tier. Because if it's in A tier, it's a high A tier. If it's in S rank, it's a low S rank. Or not a low S rank, middle of the ground S rank. You know what? For now, it gets a high A rank for me.
Yeah!
Because I know it's gonna get better. And with that being said, damn, this is all the games. I definitely missed a few. Like I said, I'll go back later down the road and do another one of these. Honestly, it was fun doing a tier list. I ain't gonna lie. I like, you know what I'm saying? I like yapping about my interest. If y'all want me to do another tier list, let me know. I'm definitely gonna get a lot of hate for certain games I put in certain tiers. Disclaimer, this is just opinion-based ranking that I have. Is not factual, is not like official. You know what I'm saying? It's just my opinion. Based on like my experiences with the game as well as how the games are just in general. You know what? I'll put Sonic Colors in A tier.
Yeah!
It's not as good as Unleashed in Generations. For what it is, it's okay. It's not bad. It controls pretty well.
But it has too many TVs.
That it does. But I didn't realize this before. It's a good game for the Wii and the Wii only. And I did give Sonic and the Secret Rings that pass, so I do gotta extend that same courtesy to Colors. They're good games for their respective consoles. And then there's one more game I gotta put in S rank. Now I'm playing. There might be some people that will fight me on this Sonic on putting Sonic the Hedgehog 3 in S tier. Y'all are completely able to argue that in the comments if y'all want. Just be respectful. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't call me like a bitch or anything for putting this shit up here. Actually, there is one game I wanna lift up because I feel like it got a lot of hate, and I feel like I should give it a little more respect. So with that being said, let me put Sonic Boom right down here. Y'all thought I was gonna move that shit? Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? I probably have a lot more controversial opinions on other games. With that being said, I think this is a solid tier list. I think this falls in line with like my personal thoughts and opinions, as well as my experiences with the games too. It was fun making this. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, let me know what other games I should do a tier list for. I could definitely do a tier list for Mario games. No, I can't. I haven't played. I played more Sonic games than Mario games. One tier list I was thinking about doing, I did mention ranking Sonic games based on soundtracks alone. And you know, I might do that next, maybe. I had an idea of ranking Cartoon Network cartoons, Nickelodeon cartoons, and Disney Channel shows. Well, not just Nickelodeon cartoons, but Nickelodeon sitcoms as well. I've watched a good amount of Nickelodeon shows. I've watched a lot of their sitcoms. I just stopped watching after Henry Danger. So I watched maybe a quarter of Thundermans, none of Game Shakers, and with that being said, yeah, I might do some more tier lists in the future. This was fun. I like yapping. I'm not gonna lie. I like rambling about my thoughts and opinions, controversial as they are. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Hopefully y'all tune in. I guess it would be kind of cool if you dropped a like, maybe, yeah. Or you know, or drop a comment. Maybe drop a comment telling me which games deserve a higher tier. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll agree with you. Maybe I'll change it in the next one. Because I do want to do another one of these later down the line. That's what I'll call it too. I'll call it the Sonic games tier list DX. Maybe I'll actually play through Heroes by then. Probably not, but you know what's crazy? I played Secret Rings before I even attempted Heroes again. Hey man, stay strong out there. Cause I know y'all out there trying y'all best in life. And I'll catch y'all later.